Okay, I normally start um, sitting right there in my chair, but the sun is coming up and making it almost impossible. So this is my backyard. Um, there was probably, I don't know, a 50-foot pine tree over there in no man's land that we'd been waiting to fall for a long time, and its brethren, there had been three that were covered in vines. And so we knew the other two had fallen already, and they'd fallen towards the road, and so we thought that one was going to fall too. But it didn't. It fell towards our house, and luckily didn't hit our house, but tore up the fence. It took down two other trees, at least with it, maybe three smaller trees. And so between our own personal elbow grease and then two different groups of volunteers, we've gotten most of it cleared that was in our yard. There's still a chunk of the pine tree in the fence over there, which we don't want to fully take out till we can repair the fence, because it just makes it a little bit easier for bears to get in. And yes, we do have bears in the yard often. And but all of this, we've got little pathways through it, but yeah, it's taken up most of the yard, and we're trying to sort it so we can make use of it. Building up the raised beds, probably be for some of the bigger pieces, and then composting some and chipping up some. And Asheville's got this wonderful thing called the tool library. We can go check out tools and rent them for very cheap. And I could probably talk a lot about the after effects of Helene, but one of them is my compost tumbler is back there, and I had to empty the contents of my freezer, which a lot of it had peppers and like tomato sauce and things from the garden that I'd made, and I didn't have time to can, so I was just putting them in my freezer. So my whole garden's yield this year that we haven't eaten fresh was gone, except for a few canned tomatoes. But again, trying to keep it in perspective. It's a bummer, but everybody else has had a story. Like everybody else is going through things, and a lot of people have lost a lot more. So next year we can build it back. But good news is my citrus looks like it's close to finishing up, although it looks really sad because we haven't had rain, and I can't use my rain barrels for watering my plants, so everything's just gonna have to be okay as it is. And it is supposed to drop down into the low 30s. There's one day, there's the bay laurel, that it's going to get down to 31, so I'm going to have to bring these guys in. This little tree did get turned over and dumped out of its pot during Helene, so it's looking a little sadder than usual, but it's always struggled. That's one that grew from seed. And I clearly have not mastered the art of growing lemons from seed. Eggplants, peppers, all doing fine. Y'all, celery likes a lot of water. They did get some gray water yesterday from, our recycling is supposed to pick up this week, and so I was just rinsing out the few. I put like not a teeny bit of water in a bucket and rinse out our recyclables, and so I put the leftover water in there, and that seemed to make them real happy, because yesterday they were super sad. You can tell how much is droopy and kind of yellowed on them. So this is from a fig tree, and these were, I'll show you when we get over there, limbs that had split off, and we were trying to take them off, realized that there were roots underneath them, and so I was like, you know what, let's just try, let's just see, put it in some dirt, see what happens. So maybe I do still have a few things in the greenhouse. I don't know they're ever getting in the ground. I think the things that I most want to try to get in the ground are these carrots, because they will go over winter, and some of these are winter varieties. So, but that takes a minute. And P.S., you're not supposed to grow carrots like this, but this is the only way I can get carrots. So even if they're gnarled and not straight and look weird. If I plant them from seed, if they come up, if I can get them to come up, which I have been able to get them to germinate, they get eaten by roly-polies and slugs. So I have a voracious garden ecosystem at the moment. And these are the French lilacs that I got from a Master Gardener sale earlier in the spring, and I divided it up, and they were doing okay. I'm sure they need some water, looks like, but I might have to give them a teeny bit. But yeah, this is what most things have been looking like lately. So maybe I'll stick some things in the ground and see if they fare better than in these little cups. But it's just finding the time to do that. Like today, I have to go buy some groceries, which is a whole process now. Unhelp a friend clean up her kitchen, because washing dishes is an ordeal as well. And she has some big things happening with her family, and she's just feeling extra overwhelmed. And so me and another friend are going to go help her do dishes and clean up her kitchen, so at least she feels like she has that one little bit of peace. She's a very avid cook, so this is having a nasty kitchen is not sitting well with her on top of all the other stressors. And then try and find, I've heard tell of a laundromat that's 24 hours, so we might see what that's about. So I think we have, and this is, oh, look at that baby cauliflower. I think that might, I wonder if that's the violeta. These guys have been in the ground all summer, so let me show you real fast. These are red Brussels sprouts. Got a couple that I put in the ground there. See my little birdhouse that my kids made and painted for me when they were little. Oh man, okay, so I wanted to show you plants, but I guess I'll show you that. That's the tree through the fence. And my apple tree, my original Honeycrisp got split. I don't have any grafting tape, so I was trying to tape it back up with painter's tape. Figured it would breathe a little better and would come off easy, all that kind of stuff. And volunteers that were clearing the trees dropped a big branch and just broke it completely. I haven't taken the tape off yet because I figured that might help keeping disease out. Or not, you know, we'll see. So raspberry got kind of torn up there. Black jewel raspberry was just in here. The hardy kiwi got a little bit torn up, but still doing fine. Yeah, I'll show you the things that are still here. And this is all the things that are not. But yeah, still have some eggplants. I don't think we're gonna get eggplants. At this point, I don't even have time to mess with any of it. So, a little tiny cauliflower. We might get a little tiny cauliflower out of it. The kales are still going. The plant broken. So, if nothing else, and these, I believe, are cauliflowers that I put in. The aphids got real bad all of a sudden. Again, that's bottom of the list. My bean poles were standing up yesterday, so if we had some overzealous birds there. We did have 2 bean plants that sort of made it through, and we're still making beans for us. Okay, there. Oh, got a pepper. Come and get those guys. I have had, yeah, cool. We've had rats all of a sudden. And we had a mouse in the house, and that apparently is one of those things that happens after big storms too. The little critters are displaced as well. And it's starting to get cold, so they're going to look for food and warmth like everybody else. But yeah, they've also taken hunks. I actually I didn't show cauliflower over there. They had a big bite taken out of the side of it. So that one's probably toast. Let's see, let me walk around another way because the sun is glaring. Green stalk got knocked over. I did get that back up. Passion flower doing very, very nicely. These guys, the basil's kind of toast, but yeah, it's getting cold. You'd kind of expect that. It doesn't like cold temperatures. And the strawberries looking a little pinky because no water. Between the mounds of debris. So let's see here, things that are still going. So that happened. I guess at this point I'll just let it stay for seeds, and there's no point in trying to eat it. I did have both a butternut squash and a cucumber vine that had worked its way out there, but those are underneath rubble, debris. Zinnia got blown down, but she's still doing. Looks like we're trying to make something else here, which I appreciate. And I've gotten a couple of cucumbers. I don't know that we're gonna have time to make anything there. So Brussels sprouts, I just found out that you're supposed to top them, which I probably should have done months ago, and then we probably would have had Brussels sprouts like 10 times over because I had a lot of Brussels sprouts out here. But maybe it's trying, I don't know. I did finally top some of them. Okra, cheese toast. This Brussels sprout is just done for anyway. These were Chinese yard-long beans. And they are red. Let me see, it's kind of, and this is one that actually made it through the storm, and then the volunteers who were very helpful and I'm super grateful for, so let's not mistake that, dropped some stuff on it and just broke the teepee in the plant, so I don't know that I'll get any more out of it. But that's okay, it was about time for it to be done anyways. So there's my apple tree where half of it got broken off. I had to cut a good bit back because it had a lot of damage. Pretty much all my tomato cages are toast, which I was using those to support my peppers. And hopefully, like once we get down to digging everything out, like there's still some of my emitters in the ground, and some of them got pulled out for different things, but yeah, so we got, and I had put in some babies, so like these are cabbage, I believe. I don't know that they're ever gonna get to cabbage, both because they were late anyways, but also because I can't water them. So this shishito pepper has continued to produce. I actually just grabbed a bunch off of it last night, and we grilled those with our dinner, because that's, even though we do have power now, doing dishes is a problem, so we're still using the grill for everything. My cucumbers are still producing. I got some off of there yesterday as well. I think they like cool weather better. I've heard as much, rather than summer, which it seems like it's more of a summer thing when people grow them. But a little artichoke. And this was going to be my new Brussels sprout collection, and there's still a couple in there. Let me see, I don't know if that's also, and that's the tree got cut up by a volunteer, and my tomato plants, as you can see, definitely got beat up, but we do still have a couple hanging on there, and even some new growth in these plants that are mostly dead. They're gonna come out soon. They have to. And then here's my fig tree. And so obviously, like, this is right where, sorry, the sun's right there. So this is right where the tree came in, right on top of the tree. So obviously the top of the fig got damaged, but the bottom was actually fine, so I was kind of good with that. And then again, the volunteers that were helping kind of broke some things right at the base, so I'm kind of hoping that it makes it through. I had a fig tree in the past that happened to, and it had a long, hard road, and I don't want to say to recovery because I don't think it really did, but we're gonna try. We're gonna see. And I did take the two of them and put them, two of the branches that had roots, and put them in pots, so maybe we'll have more fig trees, and next year could look a lot different. That's also my hardy kiwi, and it's had a hard time in that spot. The one at the other end had probably grown as much in 1 year as that one had grown in 4. So I'm hoping that when we replace the fence, I'll just cut it way down, and I might even dig it up so it doesn't get any more damaged, and then we'll find another home for it. And then over here, blackberries need to be cut down. Oh, I'm going to show you that. That's one of our fence pickets. So, yep, the pine tree covered in vines that came over. Pawpaw tree did okay, didn't get any damage, is looking a little bit sad. That might be just, flood and then drought. And this is my pink lady apple, which the tree basically fell right next to another little baby tree, so they sustained some damage on the limb, so we had to give it a pretty hard haircut, but you can see it's already put on new growth and trying to fix herself. So hopefully again next year will be good. Elderberry back there is looking okay, a little peaky, a little powdery mildew. Raspberries were already kind of going over. They're almost done. Next year I gotta figure out a better way to prop them up, but like that's the list of things for next year's very long, as you can imagine. This was my peach tree that was a volunteer in the bed, and so she got a big haircut. But we'll see what happens with that next year. So now I may be in the market for 4 or 5 fruit trees come next year, so we'll see what that brings. Blueberries all did fine. Yeah, the stuff all did fine. But then that is taller than me. That was kind of hard to contend with, but again, bright spot. Now we're gonna have basically uninterrupted sun in the back here, so next year could be a really good garden. Like, my sun trap has expanded, and the stupid trees that we were wanting to fall did. So careful what you wish for. Okay, I think that's probably more than enough. The end.